All right, let's talk about it. We're going to break down one of the most, truly spectacular high-speed implosions in modern financial history. Yep, we're diving into the anatomy of the FTX collapse. This is the question that floored everyone, right? How does a multi-billion-dollar crypto empire just vanish in a matter of days? A company worth $32 billion, with its name plastered everywhere, backed by huge celebrities, just gone? So, okay, let's get into it. Let's map out exactly how this all went down.
So to really get a grip on the fall, you gotta understand the rise. And what a rise it was. Because before the crash, FTX wasn't just a big name in crypto. For a lot of people, it felt like it was the name.
So FTX pops up in 2019, founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, you'll probably know him as SBF, and Gary Wang. And look, their platform, it wasn't for your casual crypto dabbler. No, this was a high-octane exchange for the pros, right? They offered these super complex products, things like derivatives and futures, that just sucked in a massive amount of money incredibly fast. We're talking about going from zero to a global powerhouse in just about 3 years. Insane. And this is where it gets really interesting. The image they built. Everyone talks about crypto being the Wild West, right? Well, SBF and FTX basically positioned themselves as the sheriffs, the responsible adults in the room. They were the ones talking about regulation, about doing things the right way. They made themselves look like the absolute safest bet in a super risky game.
And man, did they spend money to build that trust. A fortune. We're talking putting their name on the Miami Heat's arena, running Super Bowl ads, getting guys like Tom Brady and Steph Curry to vouch for them. This wasn't just advertising. It was a brilliant play to manufacture legitimacy. And you know what? It totally worked. Millions of people poured in, all of them believing their money was safe and sound.
But as you can probably guess, underneath all that shiny celebrity gloss and all the talk about being responsible, the foundation of this whole empire was just rotten. It was fundamentally broken. And the truth was about to come spilling out. Okay, so here's the core of the problem, this incredibly conflicted relationship. On one side, you've got FTX, right? The public exchange. That's where you or I would go to trade. But then, kind of in the shadows, you had Alameda Research. This was SBF's private trading company. To the world, they looked like two different companies. But in reality, they were secretly tangled up in a way that put every single FTX customer at massive, massive risk. And this is the moment the first crack appears in the dam. A crypto news site, CoinDesk, manages to get its hands on a private financial document from Alameda. Now, it didn't blow up the mainstream news right away, but for people in the know, what was inside was an absolute bombshell. So what was the big deal? Well, here's the core of it. The report showed that Alameda's financial foundation was built on, wait for it, a token that its own sister company, FTX, had basically printed out of thin air. It's called FTT. Think about it like this. It's like a bank saying, yeah, we're financially solid because we have billions of dollars worth of our own gift cards in the vault. It's absurd, right? This created this huge hidden weak spot. Because if the value of that FTT token ever tanked, it wouldn't just sink Alameda, it would take FTX down with it. And, well, once a weakness that big gets exposed to the world, it just takes one little push. And that's exactly what happened. The dominoes started to fall, and it was a catastrophic chain reaction. So here's the spark that lit the fuse. A massive rival, Binance, sees that CoinDesk report and immediately goes public. They tweet that they're dumping all of their FTT tokens. All of them. That one single tweet, it was like shouting fire in a crowded theater. It triggered absolute panic. Suddenly, every single person with money on FTX was scrambling to get it out all at once. It was a classic bank run, and FTX was just completely flattened by it. And this timeline, it just shows you the insane, breathtaking speed of this whole thing. Look at this. November 2nd, the report comes out. By the 6th, the bank run is in full swing. Just 2 days later, boom, they halt all withdrawals. Everyone's money is frozen. A last-ditch bailout deal falls apart the very next day, and by November 11th, it's over. Game over. Bankruptcy. They went from a titan of the industry to total rubble in less than 10 days. Just think about that. So, of course, once FTX goes bankrupt, the investigators finally get to go in and see what's really under the hood. And what they found? Wow. It was so much worse than just some bad bets or a shaky business model. This wasn't just a house of cards. This was a massive $8 billion fraud. You might be asking,
So why couldn't they just give people their money back during the bank run? And the answer is just brutally simple. The money wasn't there. It was gone. It had been taken and used for completely different things, all without anyone's permission or even knowledge. And in the world of finance, that is the absolute number one, you do not do this, cardinal sin. It's called misuse of customer funds.
And the numbers are just staggering. It turns out that over, get this, $8 billion of customer money had been secretly moved from FTX over to Alameda Research. And what did Alameda do with it? They gambled it away on their own super risky crypto trades. So when those bets went bad, well, poof, the customers' money just disappeared right along with them.
The fallout from this was just devastating. You've got millions of people with their life savings just frozen, gone overnight. But the impact was way bigger than just the individual losses. This whole scandal completely shattered what little trust people had built up in these big, centralized crypto exchanges. And, you can bet, it led to governments all over the world screaming for much, much tougher regulations.
So in the end, the collapse of FTX was just a brutal, painful lesson. A lesson in transparency, in risk, and especially in the danger of trusting a charismatic personality over actual sound financial rules. And it leaves all of us with a really big question. Sure, FTX is gone, it's been exposed, dismantled, but has the risk gone away? Have the underlying problems in the crypto world that allowed this to happen actually been fixed? That's a question that the entire industry and its regulators are still trying to figure out.